Hey there, Mr. Weaver here, and this is Lesson 1 of the Geometry Unit and Properties of Triangles. After this lesson, you need to be able to find the missing angle of a triangle. You need to be able to determine if three given angles could form a triangle, and you need to be able to determine if three given side lengths could form a triangle. You'll know you're successful after this lesson if you can use the fact that angles of a triangle add up to 180 to find missing angles or to see if they can form a triangle, and check if the two shortest sides of a triangle add up to be longer than the longest side, therefore being able to make a triangle. First, let's look at a couple properties of triangles. So the first property has to do with the angles. In a triangle, the sum of the angles inside the triangle is 180. So if you have a triangle, the three angles inside of it are going to add up to 180 degrees. Here, 82 plus 57 plus 41 equals 180 degrees. This is going to be true for all types of triangles. The second property has to do with the side lengths of the triangles. So here, only certain lengths of triangles actually work. The ones that do work, if you take the two shortest sides, they need to add together and be longer or greater than the hypotenuse, which is the longest side. So here we have 5, 6, and 8. Those ones would work to be a triangle. Here's why. So let's say the longest side was 10. And we have two other sides of 4 and 2. Here I'm kind of positioning them to try to figure out if they can make a triangle. But no matter how I position them, and I take the ends and get them as close as possible, they still would never connect before they had to lay flat on that longest side. So 4 and 2 would never meet to make a triangle before becoming flat on that 10. Which is why the two shortest sides need to add together and be longer than that longest side. Let's look at a couple examples using these properties. So first, what is the missing angle? We have a triangle that has x, 42, and 63. We know those three need to add together to get to 180 degrees. So if we just subtract 42 and 63 from 180, whatever is left, x must be 75 degrees. If we were to substitute that back in for x, 75 plus 42 plus 63 equals 180, so we can check by re-adding the three things together. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and figure out what is the missing angle if you have 24, 58, and x. Let's check. You should have figured out that x was equal to 98 degrees. If you subtract 58 and subtract 24, you are left with 98. Next, let's look at a right triangle. What is the missing angle? We have 45 and x, but we also have that little square, which tells us that it's a 90-degree angle. Again, we can follow the same things, so adding 45 plus 90 plus x should give us 180. Subtracting the two that I know, I can find that x is equal to 45 degrees. So here the key is to know that that little square in the corner shows that that angle is 90 degrees. Pause the video and figure out your missing angle. Let's check. You should have figured out that x is equal to 30 degrees because 30 plus 90 plus 60 is 180. Next, let's see if we can figure out if the angles given could be a triangle. So thinking about what the angles have to add up to, they need to add up to 180. So if they do that, then it could be a triangle. So do they add up to 180? 15 plus 70 plus 5 is equal to 90. 90 is not 180. Those three angles could not make a triangle. Now, just because they do add up to 180 does not mean it is a triangle. Things could be positioned strangely, and the side lengths might not be correct, but they do need to add up to 180 in order to be a triangle. That's our first check. Pause the video and see if those three angles could be a triangle. Let's check. If we add them together, we do get 180. It could be a triangle. Last, let's check to see if the sides could be a triangle. So remember, the sides, you need to add the two shortest sides to see if it's more than the long side. So in the first one, my two shortest sides are 6 and 10. They're not written in order, but I do need to pick the two short ones. So 6 and 10, if I add those together, I get 16. Is 16 more than 14? Yes. 16 is more than 14. It could make a triangle. Next, we have 12, 5, and 7. So 5 plus 7 is 12, because 5 and 7 were my two short ones. 12, though, is not more than 12. It's equal. We need it to be more than the long side. So no, those could not make a triangle. Pause the video one last time. See if you can figure out if those two sets of sides could make a triangle. Let's check. So first one, 4, 6, and 9. Yes. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 is more than 9. So yes, it could be a triangle. Second one, 4 plus 10 is 14. 14 is not more than 15. So no, it could not be a triangle. In this lesson, we learned that there's a few different properties that all triangles have in common. First, the three interior angles all add up to 180. If they don't add up to 180, it can't be a triangle. And then to find the missing angle of a triangle, you just take the angles that you know and subtract them from 180 to figure out what was left over. Second, only certain values can work for the side lengths of a triangle. The two shortest sides must add up to be more than the longest side. If they are not more, then they won't be able to connect to form that triangle. They would end up laying flat on that longest side with a gap between it. So those two sides have to be longer in order for them to connect. After this lesson, do you now know how to use the fact that angles of a triangle add up to 180 to find missing angles or to see if they can form a triangle? And do you know how to check to see if the two shortest sides add up to be longer than the longest side so they could make a triangle? And that's the end of lesson 1 on properties of triangles.